What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm not in my shop right now. I'm actually on our driveway, so if it's a little bit windy, I would like to apologize for that. But today I'm going to walk you through this big kitchen table that I've been building. I'm going to kind of explain to you guys why I did certain things and why I didn't do other things, and I think it should be a fun video. So let's get started. So starting at the top here, we've got cherry that is 34 inches wide, 72 inches long, which is 6 feet, and it is laminated up of 6 pieces of wood. The finish on the top just turned out absolutely beautiful. I did 6 coats of armor seal on this thing, sanding with 220 grip sandpaper in between each coat, and the finish just turned out silky smooth and glass-like. The top of this table is 1.5 inches thick. It's 34 inches wide and 72 inches long, and I glued it up with 2-inch thick wood, knowing that we would have to sand it down. I'd like to give a huge thank you to Sean Burkholder for letting us use his 36-inch drum sander to flatten the top perfectly. Without having access to a 36-inch drum sander, I don't know how we'd be able to flatten the top. And another big thank you to Matthew Haskins for letting us use his big joiner to joint the edges of all the boards that made up the tabletop. So moving on to the legs are solid pieces of cherry, 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches by 30 inches tall. I got the cherry for these legs at Black Forest Sawmill. Guys, they have incredible wood. They do custom cuts, all sorts of stuff. They've got a website and they do ship. They have some of the lowest prices on slabs and stuff that I've ever seen, so please go give them a look. Check out their website, blackforestsawmill.com. And like I said, guys, they do ship and they have incredible prices. So if you want to order some slabs or custom wood or anything like that, definitely go check out Black Forest Sawmill. The link will be in the description down below to their website and their Instagram. So when I got the legs from the mill, I proceeded to clean them up. I ran them through my planer, got all 4 sides nice and square and flat. Like I said, milled them down to 3.5 inches, and I used my router to add a little round over to all of the corners. So once my legs were perfectly square and cut to length, I used my bandsaw to cut 2 very nice tapers on the inside part of the leg. I think I measured up like 13 inches and then came over 3/4 of an inch and then just connected the dot. I cut that out on the bandsaw and then used my hand planes to clean it up. And just like the top, the legs also have 6 coats of armor seal. So moving on to the aprons, they are grade A cherry, 4/4. They turned out incredible. The short aprons are 25 inches. The long aprons, I believe, if I remember correctly, are like 69.5 inches. I inset the aprons back from the front of the legs about 1/2 inch to give it a decorative look. And guys, if you're ever going to be doing aprons or anything on a table, I suggest that you make a little jig to hold the apron, the set distance back from the leg. That way you can get it perfect every single time and you don't have to measure. And the long aprons are pretty much the same thing, just longer. So taking a look underneath of the table, the first thing you'll notice is that I cut a slot on my table saw. That is so that I could insert these Rockler tabletop clips, and this is what holds the entire base of the table onto the top. These also allow for proper expansion and contraction of the top through different seasonal moisture contents. It's a little bit hard to see from this angle, but you can kind of see how I pocket screwed the aprons into the legs. And lastly, you'll notice how I added a 45-degree brace across the inside with 1 pocket hole going into each apron and then 2 big long 2.5-inch pocket screws going straight into the leg. This adds a lot of stability and a lot of beefiness to your table, and I'm so glad that I added these. It's one of those quick little things that takes you 10 minutes to do, but it makes a big difference in my opinion. And as you can see, the tabletop clips go all the way down the apron, which is a 25-inch apron, and I have 5 clips on each end. And here you can really see the taper on the bottom of the legs. And by no means when you're building a table you have to taper the legs, but I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, this adds such a level of quality and decorative appeal to the table. I think it really lightens up the look of the legs, and I think with the round over it just looks amazing. So, you know, it takes a little bit of time to cut them on your bandsaw and mark them all out and then smooth them out with your hand plane and sand them, but I think it is 100% worth it for the look that it adds to the table. And using a stop block to cut all the legs makes sure that there's no wobble in your table at all. So as you can see, there's no bounce, there's no rock or any of that. Using the stop block on the legs, like I said, made sure that all the legs were the same length, and that way you don't get a terrible rock or anything on your floor. Guys, thank you so much for watching this week's video. I know it was a little bit of a quicker upload, not really the usual style, but I'm so proud of how this thing turned out, I had to put it on my YouTube channel. The customer's gonna love it, I love it, I think it turned out amazing, and that's really what matters. If you've got any questions about the table or for me, put them down in the comments below. I respond to everybody. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, make sure that you get subscribed because there's a lot of cool projects coming up and you're not going to want to miss them. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram, Seth Custom Creations. I'll put the name on the screen for you there. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff and stuff that doesn't get put up on my YouTube channel over on my Instagram. And lastly, I've got a website now, guys, so please be sure to go check out the website. There's products on there, more information about me, and a lot of other stuff you may be interested in, so definitely go check out the website. And again, guys, sorry about the wind. I couldn't really do anything about that. I didn't want to film it in the dark garage, and I definitely couldn't film it in my shop, so sorry about the wind. I'll see you guys next week.